Yeah.
I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one.
Yeah.
I hope my team they won one.
Yeah. Man.
I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one.
Yeah.
I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. Mike Washington, we saw him on Saturday, but now he's back on assignment, just like that. But we have none other than Charles. We're here at the Labor Day Classic between Texas Southern and Prairie View A&M at the media conference. That's going to start shortly at 12. We have Prairie View A&M's coach just got here and waiting on Texas Southern coaches. He's finished up his media debuts and everything. And we have Raymond Fire. He's in the house getting some backup. So welcome to episode 423, special edition of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU dash for all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NEIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics, to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic program and the business of HBCU sports. We just call it HBCU Sports Pedagogy. Mm-hmm. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-host, Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. We're filming from on assignment here at, now it's Shell Energy Stadium, here where the game will go on this Saturday evening. It'll be fascinating. No simulcast with K-Switch 12:30 a.m. studios, but we'll get that on Tuesday. We expect to have Ralph Cooper here a little later. Make sure we get him in here. Multi-Hall of Famer, beautiful home of Texas Southern University, where they play their home games. So let's just start out like this before we get into it, and we'll turn it over to the reason we're here. But before we do that, let's do some prep. And I guess before we can get into this, we did have one big-time matchup, 3 HBCUs, Langston lost. You had Florida Memorial that lost non-conference matchups. Right. But you had the big game, MEAC Challenge, Jackson State University, new coach, T.C. Taylor, the legend Buddy Pugh that announced his retirement of South Carolina State. And after the game, all but a shutout. They seem to do quite many things right. But what are your thoughts in terms of what's going on there?
I mean, it was tremendously impressive. I mean, especially when you talk about all the unknowns that Jackson State had going into that game. In terms of checking boxes, they checked the boxes via offense, they checked the boxes via defense, they checked the boxes via special team. So it was tremendous showing for that Jackson State offense, and even more so, I think psychologically for the fan base, it was important for them to come out and get a win and move forward from the 2022 season.
Yeah, it was impactful. It was impressive. I don't know how you get around from saying that. I know people would pick on you and say that you're doing a slant, but you came out very professional beginning and said there's some talent there. So don't be surprised. We have to see how it comes together. Be careful with expectations, being fair to the coach and everything. But from my perspective, I've told everybody that this is one of the most unique seasons I've come in since covering. Sure. Just because of how deep teams are in regards to what that looks like. And when I say depth, I said at the very beginning during media days for SWAC that, in my opinion, the West was 5 deep, that you could make an argument to 5 teams coming out of here. And don't be surprised if Pine Bluff trips somebody up.
Very much so. Exactly.
I said that the East was 4 deep. You can make an argument that 4 of those teams could come out of there. Obviously, the favorite is FAMU. Right behind there was Jackson State. When you look at the West, the favorite was Southern. Right behind them, Alcorn State. I don't think that surprised anybody. I don't think that makes anybody mad other than maybe some fans.
Sure.
But Alabama State, Alabama A&M, you can make that argument. And just like on the West, I think you could say that Bethune-Cookman and or Valley, as Valley did last year,
as they have, exactly,
is going to trip somebody up.
Exactly.
And so I'm really excited in so many ways in regards to this season because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the reason why we're here as we move forward, and then we can kind of close up on the second half as we come back after the presser and talk about some big games this weekend. But let's start with this Labor Day Classic. What are your expectations in terms of what will take place here?
Two teams with a lot of buzz. You're talking about two veteran ball clubs, and that's something, especially in the day and age of the transfer portal, you don't see a lot. But these are two veteran ball clubs. You're talking about Prairie View with an offensive line that comes back intact from last year. You're talking about a senior-laden team. You're talking about Trayvon Conley coming back at quarterback for Prairie View. They've added some exciting pieces. You add a 2,000-yard rusher. And Caleb Johnson, who's coming over from Mississippi Valley State.
That's fascinating.
That's fascinating. And then you add Brian Jenkins, who's been an all-SWAC performer and one of the more dynamic players when healthy in the conference. Now he's with his Prairie View team. And then Texas Southern is a team that has everybody talking. They were knocking at the door last year, got knocked off at the very end, but they bring what many say is the most dynamic quarterback coming back into the season with Andrew Body. So a lot of buzz going into this game, and I think this is going to be a phenomenal contest.
Yeah, absolutely, in terms of what that looks like. I'm excited. To me, this goes back to 2010 when Texas Southern ultimately won a championship. Obviously, that was on the field. It was taken away. 2009, previously Prairie View won. And that was the last time I could remember in 2010, where both teams had a great deal of expectation. Both teams last year were literally one win away, based on how things fell out, of playing in a championship game. For Prairie View 2 years ago, they were in a championship game. That means they'd been two weeks ago. And as you see them prepping and getting ready there, that's the background as we're about to start. So we're going to get y'all all the live feeding. So you better hear everything from this thing. So it's good to see that it's working out there. But as I was saying, it's fascinating when you talk about how close these teams are. I think Texas Southern may be getting a little more love. Andrew Body, rightfully so, has a lot of eyes on him. But then you have Trayvon Conley. I'm surprised is not getting as much love based on his experience, his pedigree in terms of high school. It's fascinating to me.
Duncanville, one of the more prominent teams in Texas 6A football, perennial winner. He comes from an impressive lineage. Talking about that Duncanville football team.
He had so much when you talk about those two programs. So let me get in here. You also have the introduction of new AD at Prairie View, so that's an interesting twist. Mr. Goff, he's here. He literally just got on the job today, so this is his first major event. So
talk about jumping into the fire.
He has the scholarship dinner on Friday, and then you have on Saturday the game. You're talking about a lot of magic there. You have Granger up there at the front as he did a big event, community, fans, engagement. Talk a little bit about your experience. Literally, we got the plane. I don't understand if people understand the level of commitment we have and the level of commitment I've seen you have, because you actually go back to Jackson all last year to be a part of the pregame to make things happen. This year, doing these media days, mixing it in with different groups and things of that nature. You come and see the XWAC Challenge, get in there, and you come back, and then all of a sudden here you are. On Sunday, you go into Community Fan Fest, Texas Southern, to see what that's about. Right back here at it on Monday. Talk about that a little bit. I mean, the tremendous fan fest yesterday, community involvement. But when you talk about showcasing all of the programs within the Texas Southern athletics department, tremendous. Our players signing autographs, a lot of food, a lot of drinks out there yesterday. But you're talking about a premier showcase of just really putting your program out for the community to see. It was a tremendous atmosphere. I really enjoyed it. They did an A1 job in terms of showcasing this Texas Southern athletic department. Good point. Now, as we're looking at this, we're actually covering the media day. I mean, SWAC call. I did the MEAC call earlier. Got in there, had a couple of questions there. TC Taylor coming off the big win.
Yeah.
He's getting his last media questions in. We literally saw Coach driving in. Both coaches driving in, representing Prairie View, Texas Southern, trying to get it in. So it's a lot going on in terms of the mix here. And so that's fascinating. Giving you a little insight two ADs, VP of Athletics, Texas Southern, Dr. Kevin Granger.
Right there in Camerville, yeah.
Golf is right here for Prairie View AD University. So the camera want to give you a little insight. Then you got MC of the event at the front. And so you see the setup, give you a little insight of what's going on there. So we'll give you that. As we're up on it, any expectations in terms of what people should consider for this matchup, or anything that, well, let's go with that first. If you were the fans, what should be their focus point? What do you think they should be looking at for this matchup?
I think this is going to be a fun, high-scoring ball game.
You're talking about a lot of points.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be some points in this. I mean, and it normally, the saying goes, have quarterback, then you have a team. And these are two returning quarterbacks for Prairie View and Texas Southern. Two teams very familiar with each other, so there'll be no surprises. But I think that's the fun part of it. I mean, the chess match that will go into this game in terms of trying to figure out where is the Achilles heel, if you will. But you're talking about two of the more dynamic quarterbacks that I think are in the conference, Trayvon Collins and Andrew Body. So I think it's going to be a fun one.
With that being said, let me give you some upcoming events, and then I'll download the program of expectations for what's going to take place today. Upcoming this week is Wednesday, is the big-time famous Touchdown Club of Houston, TSU Prairie View luncheon. That's done by the Touchdown Football Club, but Earl Jemison is really the lead in terms of making that event happen, and he's done it for many days. That is, again, Wednesday, August the 30th, 12 noon, Omni Houston Hotel Galleria, 4 River Way Drive, Houston, Texas. $35 a single ticket, $350 for a table for those that are still interested. There's some left, you can get that. Then you have Thursday, August the 31st, is a Football Forum alumni mixed. This is Prairie View at Texas Southern. It's 5 to 9. It's at the Buffalo Soldiers Museum. That's 3816 Carolina, Houston, Texas, 77004. So you can get information on the tickets as that as well. Saturday, 38 Labor Day Classic, Prairie View A&M at Texas Southern University. 7 p.m. Shell Energy Stadium, 22 Texas Avenue, Houston, Texas, 7 p.m. kickoff. So it'll be interesting there in terms of that matchup there, just to give you insight. For this program, Master of Ceremonies is Nate Griffin, Fox 26 Houston reporter, Houston Morning Show, making the grade. Yeah, Mississippi. I was going to throw that in there. I was going to get in trouble if I didn't put in the Mississippi connection. Man, it's something about the Mississippi boys. They recognize.
A bunch of Texasipians over here.
Yeah, and they acknowledge each other big time. He'll do a welcome. He's the Master of Ceremonies. Then you have a PVAM Athletics remark from Anton Goff. He's the new Director of Athletics for Prairie View A&M University, obviously. Then you have TSU Athletic remarks, Dr. Kevin Granger, Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics. Then you have PVAM football remarks by Bubba McDowell, head coach there. TSU football remarks from Coach Clarence McKinney. Do some news and notes, closing up with Nate. We'll close it out. Then we'll come back and we'll talk about some of the big matchups after everything and people get ready to mix it. So we'll give you a full show. Looks like things are getting ready to get started here. And so as we do that, we'll take a break. And then as we come back on the other side, we'll get it started for you. So stick with us. We'll be back. We may have a little suspended break as we get set up with the coaches. As we said, they were doing their final call, getting in here and getting the mix. But we should start shortly as we get everything going there. If not, we might prompt in and throw in a little mix up between the ADs and get them started and get you all here. So we'll take our first break. We'll be right back after this.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome, everybody, to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology.
T. Madden & Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients. Call T. Madden and Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Compress the analytic data with this hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Thanks. This is Dr. Bill's Inside Italy. So as you see, we're getting ready to get started. So we'll walk you right up into this, and we'll let them start talking, and we'll come back. As you see, everybody's in the mix. They're asking us to sit down. So we're going to roll right through this and then get you in there. So you'll see some background, and then we'll go silent as they get to talking. But as they're doing that, I'm excited about all the mix that's going on here. That's Nate Griffin, the Masters of Ceremonies. Fox 2016, the buzz. Yeah, people excited. That's what happens in football season. People figure it out and get in there. A little more mix. But as you see, it looks like it's time to get started, boy. Big time in the mix, It's in the center as we get in there. So we'll go dark for a minute and let y'all have it.
Let me know when all you guys in the back, the photographers are ready to go. Good afternoon and welcome to the Texas Southern Prairie View A&M Press Club. Oh boy, this is going to be a good one this year. I'm not quite sure about whether or not you want me to read all the facts behind this, but I'm going to do it anyway because Ryan McKinney was nice enough to send me something that gives me a clear-cut idea of what we're facing today. So, good afternoon to everyone. Let's get fired up about this game. The Labor Day Classic is Saturday. So there's some people I need to first recognize before we get started. Earl Johnson of the Houston Touchdown Club, Lisa Pete, Prairie View A&M University, the athletic directors, Anton Goff, and I understand this is your first day on the job. Congratulations, sir. Clap for this guy. Is Texas Southern's Granger, who's on the show with me this morning. Thank you, sir, for getting up at 6:45 and joining me. We appreciate that. That's coming your way, sir. The head coach is Bubba McDowell, does it all the time with Prairie View A&M, and so does Clarence McKinney of Texas Southern, and do it all the time. SIDs of both schools, as I mentioned before, the time and thirst for Prairie View A&M. If you have any questions, you can talk with either one of these people up here. You can talk to her for Prairie View. Also, Ryan McKinney of Texas Southern, both do a tremendous job. And a big thank you to Shell Energy Stadium for hosting this event. Just want to lay out some facts for you, and then we're going to give the mic over to the ADs and coaches, and hopefully they will have a little something to say to each other, about each other. Here's the first fact I'm going to lay out for you. Prairie View A&M has won 14 of the last 17 Labor Day Classic contests since 2004. Let that sink in for a second. Overall, Prairie View has won 16 of the past 19 contests since 2004. I don't know about Coach McKinney, but I'm pretty sure he's thinking we really need a win against this team. And you sit right next to your opponent. The Labor Day Classic has rotated between both schools since it became a home and home affair in 2011. Since 1985, the game has been played at Delmar Stadium, Robertson Stadium, the Astrodome, NRG Stadium, Rice Stadium, Panther Stadium, and now Shell Energy Stadium. So that's what you have a home now that you can be assured of. Texas Southern finished the 2022 season with its best record of 8 seasons and best conference finish since 2000. Tigers were 1 game short of earning a SWAC conference berth. 6 Tigers, 6, earned 2023 preseason All-SWAC honors, which marks the first most at TSU in more than a decade and marks the 2nd straight season. Head coach Clarence McKinney has had 4 more preseason selections. Named to the team, wide receiver Derek Ward and Andrew Body, quarterback. Ja'Cory Howard, offensive lineman Eddie Torrance, defensive end Mike Rakins. Kick returner Shavazia, Shavazia Lewis. So with that, you have that background. And I know that you don't have as much background. I may be surprised. You may surprise me on the background, but I'm sure that you'll get some help from Coach Bubba McDowell. So without further ado, I'm going to see just how much flavor these gentlemen are going to bring to the court. So first of all, we need to have remarks from Mr. Anton Goff. Again, the very brand new person in the athletic director's first day today. I hand you the mic, sir. Come on up.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out here today. I am exactly 4 hours and 10 minutes on the shot, right? So for me to come here today, I'm really excited. I love a rivalry, right? First and foremost, I've been in a lot of schools and I've been involved with a lot of rivalries, and I hear this one ranks up with the best. And one thing I know about a rivalry is that emotions are involved and respect is involved, right? You don't have a rivalry unless you have utmost respect because you want to beat the other team that bad, right? And so I've had an opportunity, like I said, one day on the job, but when I did come from my press conference, I had a chance to sit down with Coach McDowell, had an opportunity to talk to the players. I had an opportunity to walk in their locker room and talk to them and talk to them about this game, right? I'm all about winning. And so much respect to you, but I'm all about winning, right? And so I know our guys are fired up. I came in early today, worked out, went on the field and dapped everybody up and, went through the locker room like, hey, it's game, right? And so everybody's fired up and I know our guys are going to be ready for this game. And I'm excited not to just be a part of this tradition of 38 years, but to also be a part of the pageantry, the events that lead up to it. Obviously, this event, I've got another event Wednesday, I've got an event Friday. So this is something that's special, right? You don't have a lot of events outside of the game unless the game is special. So to be a part of this, be a part of this for the very first time, I'm going to take it all in and looking forward to keeping that trophy there, right there that we brought in and take it back home with us. So thank you.
Tell you what, he came to talk smack, didn't he? Dr. Granger, one of the greatest basketball players ever graced the court at Texas Southern University. You got a little smack talking to do yourself. You got quiet about it.
I think I know a little bit about competition.
Come on up here. I think you do, especially since you're from school in Mississippi. I'm fairly sure about that. So Mr. Goff kind of laid it out for you. Dr. Goff, was it? Mr. Goff laid it out for you. So there you go.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and attending this press conference. This press conference is always special for both institutions, both programs, because it symbolizes the kickoff of football. It's football time, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for some football? Let's get it going. And what better way to kick off than going against, obviously, your rival. We have a lot of respect for Prairie View A&M. We'll be having a meeting with Ryan get you soon as this event is over, because you said Ryan supplied you with all that information, right? Okay. I need to make sure Ryan is still on text up staff. You should have kept some things to ourselves. All the information. No, but in all seriousness, I think we feel good about where we at as a program. I think if you look at our football team over the improvements they have made over the last couple of years, I think we're prepared. Coach is quiet, so Coach ain't gonna get a bit do a lot of hoopla, but he's ready. He's prepared. He stood up the other day. We had an event at the Maroon and Gray. That's the first time I've ever seen Coach get up when I was speaking. Coach got up and said, "All right, you ready?" That's the most emotional coach I've served since he's been here. So I know that led me to get up and talk a little more. But I was confident then. Coach been sitting down on me for 4 years. 5th year, Coach rolls up. I mean, we got a team, you all. So it's gonna show, sir. We're excited, we're encouraged. We want this event to be special. We want everyone to come out and attend. Everybody in the Houston surrounding areas, at Prairie View A&M, everywhere. Just come out, buy your tickets, support this event. There's 2 outstanding universities going head to head. 2 rivalry universities going head to head. 2 universities that both of us had an opportunity to compete for the championship. I mean, both games came down to the final game. So both of us are striving to be in that championship game. I've always said, I think all the championships should come down our way. Should be in Texas. Should come through Texas. I don't want Prairie View to win more than us, but I think they should. All championships coming off. AD Golf should be here. Now, let me welcome AD Golf as well. Anytime you're new to the conference, you gotta act like you knew. You gotta get up here and just kind of don't wake up a sleeping giant. Don't wake up a battle. AD Golf, I was gonna sit over there and just be quiet and welcome everybody, tell everybody thanks for coming and all that. I got so much competitiveness now. So it's your first time. I ain't going to we ain't going to Coach McKinney tapped me up so I'm gonna be cool. No, I'm just poking fun. But we're excited about it. Thank the fans, the media, thank Shell Energy Stadium for hosting us. Thank the show. I see Dr. Cavil and his crew is back there doing the show live. So thank everyone. Everyone, please go out and buy your tickets. Support this event. We look forward to seeing you all. Go Tigers.
You got it fired up, Mr. Goff, I will tell you, because he really came out of the chute on that one. But I also want to say, Ryan, you see how I did that? I wanted to make sure that you got the credit. To the public here today, I want to make sure you got the credit, so I don't have to hear it from the AD a little bit later. So it all works out. Okay, that was fun. Okay, but now we got to get on the field. And these guys, we know that TSU AD, we know AD Granger can put 40 on you when he gets mad. We know that. But now it comes down to the 2 guys, one of them who I helped raise, and the other one who I helped mentor, I think. So we're talking about Bubba McDowell, former Houston Oiler, and you guys know how hard he hit on the field. I used to watch those games from the press box, and then I'd go down and interview him for a long time to make sure his mind was right. So I'm sure that he imparts that same thing to his players, but then he's got to deal with Clarence McKinney. So without further ado, number 25, no longer. He is now the head coach of the Prairie View A&M Panthers. He is Bubba McDowell. I want you to stand up. He's finally going to do a longer than 3-minute interview.
Thank you guys for coming out. And it's exciting here. Again, I'm just kind of starting off a little bit about where we are as a team. It was pretty hot this year, but the players are, persevered through it, through the hot heat and all that. And we went out last year, this past season, and put some players in place to take care of the ones that we lost. And we're gonna run pretty good going out there this year. Right now, I mean, I know a lot of people are putting us, fifth, and the players are hearing it. And as I told them this year, I said, look, guys, don't worry about all the ratings. We just got to go out and continue to play Prairie View football. We're getting ready to go up against a good team. And you guys know how well they play. Again, as Dr. Granger said, we was both of us were like one game away from last year from playing in the SWAC championship. Again, we just gotta come out and just continue to issue much respect that they deserve and vice versa. So we're ready to go. We're tired of hitting on one another. And so it's coming up to this year where this week where we get able to go out and get ready to go in and hit against someone else differently.
I'm not gonna let you get away like that. No, you should know better. So before I have my questions, I'm sure that some of the media members or maybe even the audience may have a question. I only want to limit it to 3 because we don't want to be here all day. So I'm sure Ralph Cooper, who got here late, he should have the first question. He's back in the back. Nothing goes on with that. Wait. We're going to get your mic so you don't have to shout. Sir, he's right there. See the gentleman there?
First of all, you won this game 8 times in a row, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how many people are presently on your football team?
How many people?
Yeah, how many players do you have right now?
We're at 102.
102. And how many did you bring to Houston with you?
70.
70, okay.
Did you say hi to New AD?
What? Yeah, no, I didn't. I heard it though.
Okay, you did.
Welcome to Houston. You got another welcome for you later on. Thank you, Hollywood.
Name, sir? Chancellor Johnson, KPRC. How much pride do you take in the fact that you guys have had so much success in CSU leading up to this game?
It's a lot of pride. Again, you can't take that away. I mean, again, that pride goes a long way. Preparing for the upcoming game, upcoming season, and for kids to know that, that's something to build off on. But again, they also know that every year is different. So we got to go out and be better than we were last year. Like I said, one game away from playing the SWAC championship against TSU. TSU, should I say, we was one game away. Again, we know what kind of team that they are. We know what kind of coach that they have over there. We know what kind of coaching staff he has over there. They're going to be pretty damn good. We just got to go out and, again, as a group, as a coaching staff, and take that challenge. Hopefully we'll come out with a victorious win, with a win.
Kenyatta Cavil, Dr. Cavil's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Going back in terms of the history, I think this is the biggest game, maybe since 2009, 2010 season when both teams came back off of championships. So with teams being this close, both teams want to get over the hill, if you would, to get a championship and bring it back to Texas. What can people expect in terms of your team, particularly from the offensive side of the ball?
Again, we don't run the ball. We don't throw the ball. And that's what we do. Again, we put in several different formation systems. Again, now it's about us going out and executing against a good defensive team. Vice versa, we got to be able to stop a good offensive team in Texas Southern without defense. Again, these guys have been ready to go. They've been running around like wild dogs out there, ready to go, ready to hit somebody else. And, it's good to see them come together more important as a team. This is by far the first time since I've been here that these guys as a group, as a whole, have played together throughout the whole training camp. You get a lot of fighting and fussing against one another, but you're steady seeing each other, you're hitting against one another. But these guys have come together as a group, and hopefully we can put that together come Saturday. Come up with it.
Charles Bishop inside the HBCU Sports Lab, right back here, Coach. You guys have added some intriguing pieces to the offensive side of the ball. You already come into the season, you were the #1 rushing team in the conference last year, but you add Caleb Johnson, who was a 2,000-yard rusher during his time at Mississippi Valley State, and also Brian Jenkins, who was all SWAC performer previously at Alabama A&M, but talk about the dimension they add to this offense.
Veteran guys coming in, teaching these young guys that we have already how to do things the right way, how to make plays on a consistent basis. And that's what we're trying to get to more as a unit, as a whole. And that's from offense to defense to our special team. Anytime you can have guys like those guys come in and consistently do things well in practice, it shows the young guys, hey, you know what, we got to step our game up. And those two young men have came in and helped us out tremendously. And we're looking forward to some great things from both of them this year.
Thank you.
I have one more. Always
Football athlete, mentor.
waited his turn to become a head coach, right? Thank you. University of Houston, Yates, University of Houston, Texas A&M, Arizona, Texas Southern University. I think he knows what I'm talking about. Clarence McKinney, come on up here.
We talk about having to deal with the guy for an interview. He is such a humble guy. You are that, but you're a good man.
The mic is yours.
Where should I start? Thank you all for coming to the press conference. Looking forward to this game, looking forward to this season. We have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach McDowell and his staff. We know that they're going to be prepared. It's going to be an exciting game. You're talking about two of the elite programs in the SWAC. Like it's been stated earlier, both teams one win away from an opportunity to represent the West. This game is extremely important. We know that the winner of this game can come out on top. You can start by basically putting yourself 2 games ahead of the loser. So this is we feel like the best team we've had in the last few years. A couple years ago, we played about 40 or 50 freshmen. We've grown and developed those guys, and now they're juniors and some seniors. And guys are excited about this opportunity to finally end the streak. All good things come to an end, just like our babies. We're hoping that this is the year that happens. So. The other thing about it is, in my opinion, I was a kid coming to this game when it was in Ashton. There's no reason for this game not to be sold out. These kids on both sides of the ball work extremely hard to represent the university. They deserve to be honored by people showing up in the stands. So if you got people out there, bring 2, bring 3 people, and let's show up and support both sides of the ball. It's going to be a great game, going to be a lot of fun, balls flying around, a lot of hitting, and just like football should be. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere before you go. Questions from the media or from people who are sitting in the audience. I believe this gentleman held his hand up first.
Coach Zach Tawatari with KHU 11. You mentioned it, the fact that this game could have such an impact in the standings later in the year. Is that something you communicate to your team this early going into it, or is it not?
We just take it one game at a time. So I don't mention what could happen if we come out on top or if we come out on bottom of this game. It's just the most important game of the year right now. So as we saw last year, no matter what happens in this game, if you continue to play hard, you continue to put wins together, you can put yourself in position to play for the championship at the end.
Coach, I'll ask you the question, the $1 million question right now. Andrew Body, could you give us an update?
Andrew Body will be the starter Saturday, 7 p.m.
Kenyatta Cavil, Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Same type of question, but from the defensive side of the ball. Changes, coordinators. Obviously, people are excited about what can take place on the offensive side of the ball under Andrew Body. But what about the defense? what can we expect from the defensive side?
Definitely made a change at the coordinator position, brought in Coach Todd, who was previously defense coordinator at Grambling State for some years. And his defense in the past have always been some of the best defenses in our league. And he understands that in order for us to be as good as we need to be, we need to stop the run. We were one of the top teams in the country last year versus the pass, but the game's won in the trenches. And we went out and recruited some guys to help shore up our defensive line, our front seven, and the focus will be to stop the run. So that's a little nugget we'll give Coach.
Coach Charles Bishop inside the HBCU Sports Lab, and come back to ask some questions about anybody. One of the more dynamic players in this conference, but he's 5-2 when he throws for 2 or more touchdowns. Is there an outlook in terms of how to manage his production each season?
Yeah, we don't look at stats like that in particular. It's just a matter of, from an offensive standpoint, we see the defense as far as they can't cover everything. So whatever the defense is giving us, whether that's the run or the pass, we try and take advantage of it. We don't look at the stats and say he's thrown this many touchdowns and we win or vice versa. So that's a great stat to know.
Chancellor Johnson, KPRC. The numbers and the record as a really is what it is against PV. But for you, what gives you the confidence that this year will be a difference in the function?
I just feel like we developed the team the way it should be developed. We went out and recruited some really good high school players from winning programs. Those guys are used to winning. They don't like the taste of losing. They've worked extremely hard. They've pushed each other. And the goal is to win the SWAC, and it has to start with the first SWAC game.
Raymond Holly, HBCUsports.com, and inside HBCU Sports Lab. You mentioned that 3 years you had 30, 40 freshmen. Has that helped in your depth for this upcoming season?
Definitely. It gives us a group of guys that have been in the program and understand what's being asked of them from a multiple year standpoint. So they have that wisdom, they have that understanding. They know what the coaches are asking and what the coaches are expecting them to do. So when you have a guy who's a starter and he goes down, and you can put a guy out there who's been in the program, you feel a lot more better about putting that certain player in the game.
Hey, Coach Joe Gleason, HBCU 13. You talk a little bit about Darius Owens and just kind of what he's meant to your program, and as an older guy, he's probably a leader too as well.
Yeah, Darius Owens is one of the first guys I recruited out of Manville High School. It's a 4-year starter for us. He's one of our leaders. He comes to work every day. You know, he doesn't ask questions. He just goes to work and he pushes his younger teammates. We're excited about him going out on top as a senior. So he's one of our leaders. Thank you.
Now questions. So you become pretty good at the art of deception. I heard Bubba McDowell and I kind of stickered a little bit. Quick question for you. Is this the best team that you've had since you've been there?
I feel like this is the best team we've had. This is the team that I feel like we've raised as a staff. You know, my original staff, we've developed these guys. We hadn't brought in a whole lot of transfers. We hadn't hit the portal a lot. We kind of built it through the high school ranks, kind of like teams have done it in the past. And it's just a family. You know, we've gone through some ups and downs together, and guys, they all love each other. And so we feel like we're pretty good when we're together.
Game is
September 2nd.
What time?
7 p.m.
Want people to buy tickets?
Yeah, we need people to buy all the tickets. Not some tickets.
Very good. Clarence McKinney, everyone.
This about wraps it up. Remember that Anton Goff is new.
You guys take it easy on the media. If you need any help, sir, see the man on the very end. He'll help you out. He'll help you through the ropes. You got Bubba sitting there. Bubba, we're going to be bugging Bubba for the next 20 minutes anyway. So you'll need some help from the man on the who can shoot and hit forward. Don't play in the basketball. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't hurt yourself. All right, guys. If we don't have anything else, Mr. Jemison, we good? Ms. P, we good? Wins. The trophy? You want the coaches to hold the trophy? Okay. You want to do it like you did last year? So last year, you know what you guys did? The trophy. You guys held the trophy together. So trophy, I guess, presentation, if you will, for the TV cameras. Anton, you and your opponents, AD, might want to hold the helmets. You want them to hold the helmets, please? No smiles on their faces whatsoever. They look ready.
In business.
When did you guys start getting ready for this game? Last year? Now the trophy. You guys want the trophy?
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Dr. Cavil's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We're back at the Labor Day Classic press conference. Charles, what are your thoughts? Great question.
Oh, I appreciate that, Doc. Same with you as well. I mean, a lot of buzz for this game. Both coaches talked about bringing in veteran ball clubs. We talked about that in the preview. And they talked about, the way they've kind of built their teams. It's a little different in the day and age of the transfer portal. And both teams have buzz,
Right, and they're finding a way to get it done. We'll see what that means. Can they climb the final hill?
Right.
Chop down that wood. But I think whoever comes out of this game is going to go a long way to decide in the West.
I think so.
And the thing is, I think whoever does not come out of the game winning may be able to help.
Right, exactly.
The team that did win and might find their way back into it in terms of how things. So I think it's going to be a long season. Obviously, you'd like to get that first one off because it's crucial in terms of what that looks like. We'll probably get a couple of interviews here in a minute, but since we have a little time before we get these interviews, let's talk about some of these key matchups that's coming out this weekend that has me excited in terms of what's going on there. Obviously, the first one is similar to this in terms of conference buzz on the line, in terms of importance. That's FAMU, Jackson State down there in Miami in the Orange Blossom Classic. It'll be the last edition of this format before both teams take a break.
Yeah.
That game now will come to a home game. Jackson State will be the home team next year. We'll see if the following year will FAMU host Jackson State in terms of what that looks like. So what are your thoughts, especially after what you saw Saturday in terms of that match?
Well, I tell you what, Jackson State put their resume out there for the world to see this past Saturday.
Is that what it was? They did a pretty good job.
You're Jackson State fan. It was
I hire.
Exactly. You talk about a team that's fast, a team that's physical.
Talking about that, Prairie View had a chance to
it was out there. It's a different question. But I mean, they bring a physicality to the running game that I think a lot of Jackson State fans will really excited to see, and that's kind of the hallmark of Jackson State football, physical running game. You talk about FAMU, they brought in basically the same number of FBS
they're doing it the same way.
State, exactly.
And it's worked in terms of where they finished. The only head block for FAMU is Jackson State.
Exactly.
Jackson State, the only head block was whoever the opponent in the MEAC celebration. Exactly. They kind of busted that back, at least to start things off. So it's going to be fascinating to see who comes out of this. Now, you got Alabama State, Alabama A&M behind them, that thinking about some different things. But that game, Denny's Orange Blossom Classic, is Sunday at 2 p.m. on ESPN. Since we're talking about Alabama State, they play Southern, which is going to be an intriguing contest.
Right.
Now, this one will not count in the conference standings, but to get a gauge on both of these teams, what are your thoughts in terms of this match?
Well, Southern already comes in with a defense that was one of the top defenses in the league last year. I expect nothing different from them. Breaking in a new quarterback, Harold Blood. A lot of buzz around Harold Blood down there on the bluff. And as like we always say, as goes the quarterback, so goes the team. So really looking for big things from Harold Blood. And you talk about Alabama State, they were the second-ranked defense in the SWAC last year. Got one of the best linebackers in the conference, probably in all of FCS, Colton Bubba Adams. He averaged almost 12 tackles a game last year.
Good point. Well, talking about these two teams and how they got stopped last year, it was Texas Southern on the road at Alabama A&M.
Yeah.
Well, Alabama A&M plays Vanderbilt. You kind of know what that is. SEC. Vanderbilt is not necessarily looked at as the stronger team in the SEC, but they still have that SEC recruiting advantage. So I'm not really going to talk about that. On the other side, it was Valley that stopped Prairie View.
Yeah.
Well, Valley suits up against the Division II program. They had the Chicago Classic up there, 3 o'clock on Saturday. Mississippi Valley versus Central State. What are your thoughts in terms of that matchup?
A lot of buzz.
We want you next.
Valley team, in terms of Coach Wade taking over this
Granger.
program. He's injected a tremendous amount of enthusiasm within that Valley program. And you see the enthusiasm. A lot of Valley fans turned out for the National Battle of the Bands yesterday. They got over 350 people in the band of Valley now. So I'll tell you what, it's going to look really good for this Mississippi Valley State team.
So we also have Grambling and Hampton. That's in that Brick City Classic up there in terms of what that looks like. So as we get the athletic director in here, VP of Athletics, Kevin Granger, we'll get him in the camera a little bit here. Make sure we get everybody in. Before we go to him, talk about that matchup between Hampton and Grambling State.
Grambling looking to get back on the good foot. We know Grambling as a program doesn't stay down very long. That'll be a very important matchup, out of conference matchup, taking on the Hampton now in the CAA. Very tough, one of the tougher conferences in all of FCS.
Before Granger, before we get into this matchup, you had a community event yesterday. I got a chance to get off the plane literally and go to it, and you were doing your magic over there. Proud in terms of what that event turned out. What were your expectations? What were your thoughts in terms of how everything went?
Well, we didn't have a whole lot of expectations since it was the very first event. We wanted to get out to bring it to our community, do it for our student athletes was the main reason why we wanted to put the event on, for our student athletes so they could feel special and they could connect to each other. We saw the dividends of it. Many of the basketball players, women's basketball players, football players, all of them attended the soccer game because the soccer game was after the event. And that's just what we wanted to do. Make sure they connected to each other and started to support one another. If the athletes ain't supporting each other, then who else gonna support? How you gonna ask for other people to start coming and attending your events? You have to get your student athletes to support each other first and then build up on that.
Good. Well, let's push forward a little bit. Hosting the Labor Day Classic game, which means you host the media event. I will say thanks first for giving me a chance to stream this and appreciate the call out. But talk about this week leading up to. Next is the Touchdown Club of Houston in terms of them hosting the luncheon on Wednesday. Then you got a couple of things going on later in the week, and finally it culminates with the game on Sunday when it really is showdown. You get to take a step back a little bit, at least what's going on in the field. Obviously, everything around you still managing that part of it. But talk about this week and why it's important and exciting.
Well, it's a huge week for us. Anytime you kick off Labor Day Classic, and we're so fortunate because all of our Labor Day Classic against Prairie View. It's a rivalry. So what better way to kick off football week than going against your rivalry? I mean, it's huge. As you said, we have this event. We have another event, touchdown luncheon on Wednesday. We have another event that they're putting together for Thursday. So the whole week is just fun activities to try to bring awareness to the game as well. Because I tell people, no matter if you rooting for the purple or the maroon, just come out.
Yeah,
we need your support. Prairie View A&M needs your support. Texas Southern University needs that support. So come out and cheer on these student athletes because they've been working hard in this heat.
Dr. Granger, let me ask this question. How excited are you to watch this 2023 version of Texas Southern football team? I mean, Coach McKinney talked about they've grown up together.
Well, I'm excited. Like, as I said earlier, it's the first time I've ever given a speech and Coach McKinney has raised up. Normally he stays, mild-mannered and never showed too much emotion. So when he got up, I took it to another gear because that meant we were on to something. I mean, I think we feel good about our program, as I alluded to. Both Prairie View and Texas Southern University were one game away from, playing in the championship, representing the West Side. So we feel that we corrected 53 seconds. We feel our fate was decided in 53 seconds.
Right there.
So we feel we put in the work to correct 53 seconds. So I think we're better.
That might need to be a slogan.
That is going to get it.
53 seconds.
Correct
53 seconds.
Yeah, 53 seconds. And I think we're on to somebody. We'll be back, as Coach announced, alluded to. He's one of the most electrifying offensive sides of the ball talent in the conference. So we're just looking for big things out of our offense and defense this year.
Give the last word to you.
Hey, come out, support, get your tickets. Go Tigers.
There it is.
It's going to be a great season.
Yes, it is.
Thank you all for having me on. Thank you, Mr. Bishop.
No, it was our pleasure. It was our pleasure. We'll get in Donna Glover. She has an event coming up this week, and we want to give her a chance to talk a little bit about it, to give you some insight on this big-time event that she has, Football Forum Alumni Mixer. That is this Thursday from 5 to 9, Buffalo Soldiers Museum. That's 3816 Caroline, right here in the city. First of all, talk about how they can get tickets for this event.
All right. Good afternoon, fellas, and thanks for having me on. Appreciate it so much. So being able to get tickets for the Houston Labor Day Classic and Oral Football Forum and Mixer, you can go on Eventbrite and do a search on the Houston Labor Day Classic Football Forum, or you can send $50 to Cash App. What is it? It is Houston Labor Day Classic, HOU Labor Day Classic, on Cash App. So of course, you got to have the $sign. And then for Zelle, it's Houston spelled out, HOUSTON Labor Day Classic on Zelle. So those are the three ways. And also check for HoustonLaborDayClassic.org.
Great information. With that, why is this important? What came up to make you decide that this is something that needs to be added to the Labor Day Classic week?
Well, as I've been doing a series, as you guys can see on social media, about what does Labor Day Classic mean to you? And I've asked different people what that is. And to me, it's just a sense of home and community and family, right? I grew up here in Houston, and always had a great time dressing up, hanging out with homegirls and homeboys, and making sure we listen to the bands and things of that nature. So just celebrating. This forum is important to us because they have some similar celebration bowls, different bowls that occur in the nation at the end of the football seasons. And I said, why do we have to wait? Prairie View and TSU, why do we have to wait to get to the celebration bowl in order to have this knowledge? You know what I'm saying?
No, I think this makes sense. So Charles, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, and I wanted to ask a little bit about the history of the Labor Day Classic, especially Houston is a huge metropolis.
Yes.
A lot of transplants come here, but talk a little bit about the history and the importance of Texas Southern and Prairie View playing each other.
Right. So as I was just saying, it's just been a rivalry, 38 years this year and 37 for Prairie View and TSU. One year they had another team play in its stead, but still a very long history with the two teams and the two universities. So a lot of people have parents and family that went to TSU and Prairie View. Some have Prairie View and went to TSU. So it's just a mix and a conglomerate. Again, it's about family, friends, fun, getting together, seeing the bands. Definitely a great competitiveness. And then it's a rivalry, but it's always the love at the end of the day. So that's what it's all about.
Sure thing. Well, you continue to do stuff, looking bright and cheery, and always making it look right.
Yeah,
Let me give you
try to catch up with you.
I'm trying. We gonna make it work. Yeah, they don't know about that. They don't know about that.
Yes.
Let me give you the last word.
Okay, well, please definitely come out to share with us at the Houston Labor Day Classic in our football forum. We will have former football players there who will be speaking with our current football players of Prairie View, A&M, and Texas Southern about health management, health conditioning, making it to the draft, things like financial management, also about taking care of your funds when you're in the NFL and outside of the NFL. If you don't make it, or if you do make it and you retire, what happens then? And you don't have to just crawl up in a ball and die. You can still be successful with the different passions that you have. So I want you to come on out, then stay, or come for the alumni mixer. So everybody's getting together. So it doesn't have to be separate when these classes come around. I know you're familiar with the different classics, Magic City, Bayou Classic, and it's always like, okay, we got this party over here, we got this party over there, but we can come together. We're all we're family. So you guys make it out, be there.
I like it. That's Donna Glover, and she's putting together the inaugural Football Forum Alumni Mixer. That is Thursday from 5 to 9, Buffalo Soldiers Museum. Check it out. You heard where you can get tickets. And so make sure you purchase tickets and support that. That's how we continue to have big events and things of that nature. Let's get back to it as we see if we can get a couple of more interviews before we close this thing out. As they're up front, we'll see if we can get those to you. But with that being said, what gets you excited about the football season in general?
The new pieces, a lot of new players that will sort of etch their name into the tapestry of the season. A couple of years ago, we had a guy take the conference by storm, and Shador Sanders. We had a tremendous performance on a national
Raymond
audience.
continues to take pictures. I'm trying to get him to talk about the bands. Go ahead.
But you had the same thing in terms of new players introducing themselves to the SWAC audience this past weekend.
Raymond,
and then looking forward.
Come on here so you can talk about the band.
Like you mentioned, the bands. I mean, we had a national band showcase this past Saturday right here in Houston. So I think a lot of our fan base gets an opportunity to see the bands and what new things they bring to the forefront.
Yeah, perfect lead in, as you do so well. We got a former drum major, Prairie View A&M Marching Storm, among many other things that he has on his portfolio. But I wanted to get a little bit of band talk. We don't have the bands here, drum majors nor
step into the camera.
Marching band, and make sure we get him in here.
Which camera I'm looking at?
This one right here, and we don't want to get in trouble. Check out that hat. What are your expectations from the marching band this week?
I think they both going to come out swinging. I mean, TSU got a test being in the Pepsi National BLT this past weekend. And I know Marching Storm was there watching. It's just like last year.
I like that. It's very competitive critiquing. It was opposite. Yeah.
So
I like that.
There's 6 days left, and they're both going to come out. It's going to be hot. So both bands are going to be hot. So come out and look for the Storm to put something on those.
Well, we'll leave it right there. I don't think you can get much better after you answer like that. Do you want to follow up?
No, it's hard to follow that up.
That's like, put something on it. Say it's going to be a storm here already.
But that's the beauty of it. I mean, the band rivalry. You got the Marching Storm, the Ocean of Soul, both dynamic bands in the SWAC, and they get to showcase their talent this upcoming Saturday.
Oh, yeah, they do. I mean, I didn't even think back. I mean, I came up in the 80s, and I mean, we were small, but we were mighty, but the competition was still there.
Yeah.
The competition was still there. And when you went to these other visiting schools, if you did a good job, they gave it to you.
Sure.
So that's no different now. You go to these visiting schools, and these bands put it on them. If you did a good job, they're going to give you a standing up.
Yeah, that's old school. That's how you do it. Appreciate you for your time. We're going to get into any last words you want to give them?
Hey, y'all just watch us, HBCU Sports Lab on
Tuesday
on Tuesday and Thursday. But also, if you miss it, you can also catch us on YouTube.
There you go.
And follow us on Twitter, HBCU Sports Lab on.
Thank you. No doubt. That's part of the background, but I wanted to get him out of the background. He takes pictures and does a lot of development in our social media platforms, Raymond. So I'm really excited what he does there. But people don't realize that he is also an expert in the band in terms of his time coming up the ranks and leading it. And that was the emphasis in a lot of ways of the Marching Storm. So he can tell you that history. He is part of the Alumni Association, so he does work, not just in terms of what he does off that. He does it from a national, local, and both in terms of it. That he's a man, as Roy knows, Phi Beta Sigma, Kappa Psi, so he has all those check boxes and marks check. You know, we kind of get on him sometimes about that blue, but you know, everybody's allowed to make at least one mistake.
One mistake.
I knew we get him. Look at me. We're going to try to hold on a little bit till we can at least get the new AD in. He's making his rounds. Some of the news folks will get him. So we'll see. He's kind of coming back this way if we can get him on here and get him to that. If not, we'll certainly see if we can get some of the coaches. Folks are starting to line up, getting in the line and make sure they get some food.
Nate right here?
Yeah, we can get Nate. Nate, if he got a second. Nate, you have a second to do a little bit of interview? And so as we watch and get him dressed up and get him on here and get him ready, we're going to get Nate. He was the master of ceremony. Bigger than that, he's Fox 26, Houston reporter that really comes in here. Let me make sure you get here on the camera. Yeah, there we go. We're going to make sure you get in here.
Hey, man,
we know
you got to be potted down. I talk to you myself. It's probably better that you don't. Man, I'm on with the brains, man. These guys are smart. I'm talking about brilliant when it comes to football.
Man, we just try to keep up with you.
There it is. Just try.
Oh, man, come on, stop. Come on, stop.
Then I've seen y'all get together with the Mississippi boys. You know, it's tough.
You don't want to talk about Mississippi. Man,
I am in the middle.
Boy, we'll let it
put some on your head.
Man,
Nothing like guys from the SIP.
I'm telling you, man, it gets natural.
Exactly.
Man, great job on the ceremony, getting everybody excited as if they
thought they were gonna walk up.
Yeah,
there
right.
and
Just get some.
be all prepared.
Right,
Prepared.
Yeah, this new generation of coaches, they so smooth, quiet. You know, we used to the back of the day with
especially those two.
Exactly.
You know, you got to remember, I interviewed Bubba when I raised him when he first came to the Oilers, third round pick out of Miami. Right.
Think about this.
And when he first got there, I got him. Okay, so I fought his entire NFL career till he left and went to Carolina, and then that one up there, you know,
you talking about Lillard when he was growing up? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So they can't run, they can't hide. Right. You know,
because you know everything.
What you gonna do?
Oh yeah, run away from this bike. I'm gonna tell everything.
Get smart with me. No sense in bringing attitude. Hang that up. Just come on up here and deal with it. They know. You see how they acted today, right?
Exactly.
They know.
You want them in line.
They know who Big Brother is.
Let's get a little bit into your X's and O's.
Yes, sir.
Because people understand what you know about on that side too.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts in terms of this matchup?
Well, okay, so you got a team that we know likes to run.
Yes.
Prairie View. And we have a team with a quarterback who can throw the ball.
Yep.
Now, I do Rice Color.
Mm-hmm.
We played Andrew Body.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I was everything you wanted. He was like,
dude, I was in the
what y'all doing?
I was doing one of these numbers. My play-by-play guy. He was like, man, would you? No. Did you see that? They just went deep.
Yeah.
The defense would collapse on him from both sides, right? All of a sudden, you see a white jersey coming out, and it's him. And he doesn't and he doesn't get past the line of scrimmage. He releases a long dart down the field.
Big play.
Complete.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, Andrew Body is special. I had a chance to talk with him. I told him he almost gave me a heart attack 2 years ago. I can't live like that.
Yeah.
I can't live that way. So when you talk about Prairie View and Texas Southern, Prairie View is going to have to focus on stopping the pass.
Yeah.
Texas Southern is going to have to focus on stopping the run. Because one thing we know about a Bubba McDowell coach team, they are going to be physical.
Yep.
And they're going to run between the tackles.
Yeah.
You're going to see the 2 holes. You're going to see the 0. The 22 dive, I expect to see that a lot because they want to test what they want in that $22, for those of you who
They gonna
don't
see you
know,
stop them.
you got 0, 2, and 4 on the right side. On the left side, you have 1, 3, and 5. That's how the plays will run. So you're going to see a lot of 22 dive probably coming from them. They're going to run that ball. They want to test to see if Prairie View really, if Texas Southern really wants to play defense.
That's right.
They're going to find out what kind of heart do you have. Yeah. And if you don't have it, oh boy,
They can get a long night.
And they'll control the clock.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing.
Let me ask this question, and both coaches alluded to it. They both have veteran ball clubs.
Yep.
But in this day and age of the transfer portal, how unique is it that you have 2 veteran ball clubs that really know each other?
Well, I think first of all, you have to give a lot of applause to the coaches because they know the positions that they need, right? So in the portal, you have a lot of young men. I think the portal rules have changed. Is you right, Dr. Cavil?
That's correct.
The portal rules have changed. So what you have to do is find the need on your squad. And I think both these coaches, we know, you got a guy who played in the pros. You got another guy who's coached under some of the best coaches in the country for some of the best teams at that time. Sure. Okay. And so they know how to go out and get the players that they need to fill the needs. And once they fill a need with an experienced player, then all you do is build up the depth behind them. Yeah. That's what you do. You do that because I can tell you right now, Prairie View is too deep at every position. Good too deep at every position. Texas Southern, from having watched them, I can tell that they have done some really good things.
They must keep
and I can tell you they are a whole. And you heard Coach talk about. I asked him, "Is this the best team you've had?" Coach McKinney. I asked him, "Is this the best team you've had?" He said, "Yes." Yeah. And the reason coaches can say that is because they have more depth.
Yep.
So
that's right.
You have depth.
Makes a difference.
That spurs competition. Competition spurs good stuff. Nobody wants to lose their position. Hey man, it's going to be a competitive game Saturday.
Yeah, you need to come out and get that. Last one, we'll leave the last word with you. Any final thoughts that you want to put on this?
Hey man, I have enjoyed today. Again, and I feel sorry for Anton Goff. I mean, look,
we finna get him in here next.
The thing
AD Goff.
The thing is,
you next.
This isn't his first rodeo, but he's gonna get roasted down here.
Oh yeah.
If it ain't the heat, it's gonna be us. So I'm just saying. You may as well go ahead and get ready for it. The SWAC is gonna roast him
into the frying pan.
It's a little different. It's a little different coming from the Big Ten or whatever into the SWAC. It is a whole lot. You got them natural people. They ask natural questions.
That's right.
They want to know. They come all the way back from Alcorn with a right hand punch and knock you out. You're like, oh my God, what was that to hit me? So you gotta be ready, man.
Yes,
you guys are doing a great job.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.
Pleasure's all mine.
You are going to be blessed. You just hang on.
I will.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate that.
All right. Put your headphones.
Just walk away.
All right. If we got get him in here, new AD, bring him in right.
That's good.
That's good. Scoot over a little bit. We're going to make sure they don't give you no problem. Say we ain't give you no camera time.
That's what I'm saying.
Right there. So literally, as you said, at that time was what, 4 some hours?
Yeah,
now
4
maybe
hours.
5, 4.5.
It might be 5 now. I'm not sure.
And counting, huh?
Yeah, it's 5 hours right now.
In all seriousness, how has everything been? I know it's been a whirlwind.
Everything's been good. Got up there early this morning, got my workout in. Like I said, talked to the football
you
team.
You look like you can still
bit.
play a little football.
I can get you a
In and out.
6 yard catch. I got 1 6-yard catch left in me.
Might be a game winner.
Don't put me in unless you just need 6 yards.
There you go. There you go. That'll work.
But yeah, no. So talk with the team this morning. You know what I'm saying, and
Good.
Jumped in the car with some administrators and Coach Bubba, and we rolled down here. And so we just diving into it.
Sure.
In terms of the event itself, how did you like the event?
It was great, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Okay, good.
A first-class event, a little bannering back and forth.
There you go.
But a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have a rivalry without respect. I've been in a bunch of rivalries, and so I understand the emotion of wanting to win a little bit more. But also, you also only want to win a little bit more because you got that respect for that other opponent.
That's right.
So it's good.
Right. So you want to put that L on them because you want them to understand it.
Absolutely.
For 300 and some days.
Yes.
Basketball a little different because you had the game on the road or at home later in the season. Different sports. Talk about some of your goals for the program as you move forward. I know you've done that privately with the interviews. But...
So I'm focused on 3 areas, right?
Okay.
One,
is to give my coaches and our student athletes the resources to compete for championships.
I like that.
I came down here to win, and that's what I wanted to make sure everybody understood that when I said that, right? And it's not just to win this game, but I'm talking SWAC championships. I'm talking about making noise in the NCAA, right? And so the other thing is to make sure our student athletes have the greatest Panther experience we can provide with them. And that includes being able to graduate at a high level, being able to prepare them for life after sports.
Yes, sir.
Right. And then the last area is I want to make sure that we're impacting the community in a positive way, right? That we're giving back to those who support us.
Okay.
So I'm focused on those three things, man. And hopefully we will see a great, like a level of TV that's never been to TV before. And that's why I'm down here, and that's what I want to accomplish.
No doubt. Go ahead, Charles.
You mentioned giving your athletics the resources they need. Resources come through fundraising. Talk about any fundraising initiatives.
So right now, I need to go out. I need to meet our alums. I need to talk with our top donors. I need to find out why people support PV. I need to thank people who have supported PV previously before I ask them for a dime. You know what I'm saying? I want to acknowledge them and say
cultivate those relationships.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think there's a great opportunity for corporate partnerships, right? Like, for instance, Panther Stadium. I should be named something.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
beautiful new stadium.
Exactly. So those type of things, man, I want to be able to cultivate. And obviously, you know, your budget's your budget, but we got to go out and fundraise.
Okay.
Right. And so that's going to be really, really huge for me to make sure that I'm working with our donors, our foundation, those individuals to make sure that we've got a fundraising program for the athletic department.
Sure.
I know you said you talked to the team. Have you gotten out there to be able to see any practice?
So I watched practice
Awesome.
when I was here for my meet and greet.
Yeah.
And then I watched the beginning of practice this morning before I had to go get cleaned up.
Well, you from there, so you know what you see out there. What did you think so far?
So,
I know it's quick and there's only so much you can analyze, but what did you?
We got some athletes.
Okay.
I know that. Sure. Now, I don't know the system we run yet.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fair.
know who the superstars are yet. I'll find that out Saturday.
There you go.
But I know we got some athletes, and I know those guys are raring to go.
Okay.
And so that's important to me. Like I can see when a guy walks out to get ready to get on the field, the look in his eye.
No doubt.
Right.
No
So
doubt.
you heard it.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first. Give you the last word. I always like to do that. Anything that we didn't ask you to, or you want to share that needs to be out there.
So first and foremost, thanks for having me on, fellas.
Pleasure.
Right. And I will let you know I'm gonna be accessible to you guys.
Appreciate it.
So anytime you want to get me on, let's do that. Excited to be here, excited to be part of this tradition. And I want to encourage everybody to come out Saturday, come to the game, right? Buy the tickets. Our student athletes on both sides of the ball
Need to see that. Yeah.
Need to see
feel that.
Need to see that energy because they're gonna have it. And,
Exactly.
and I know about playing in front of a packed crowd, like it just gives you more juice. And
No
so
doubt.
hopefully we'll have a packed crowd, the pageantry, the game will be great, and hopefully PV goes home with the trophy again.
There you go.
There it
Last
is.
word. I like that. All right.
job.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And we will get you back and keep you on here. Thank you for your time. And as we do that, we're about to close out. I think we got it done. We might sneak in a coach or two, but wanted to make sure you could at least get an interview with the ADs, both from Prairie View AD and Texas Southern University. So great time with that. Any thoughts as see if maybe we can sneak in a coach or two as they're trying to get it in for some interviews?
Enjoying the buzz. Enjoying the buzz of the Labor Day Classic. Donna brought the history. The ADs have talked about what they're looking forward to. The coaches are set. I'm sure game plans are done. This is going to be a fun and exciting game this upcoming Saturday.
Good stuff. Thought we had got Clarence, but he got snuck away with the coach trying to get in there and stuff like that. Let's see if we can get him in there. Maybe give you 10 more minutes, then we'll shut it down. Coach McKinney. Coach Bubba McDowell, coach. We trying to get him.
Let me see, can I grab him real quick?
Yeah. Appreciate it. With that going on, Charles is going to try to grab him. Donna's making her rounds, doing her network, so they can't hear you over here. But with that being said, you see the matchup. So it's going to be exciting in terms of what folks are looking for in terms of this matchup. I think this is going to go a long way in the standings. People are interested. Obviously, preseason standings at Southern, then Alcorn. But big-time matchups this weekend, it'll go a long way We saw what Texas Southern did last year. They went undefeated after that loss in the division of Prairie View. And then Prairie View really did well in terms of the division matchup. So that's what's going on there in terms of how all that is going on in terms of the matchup. And so with that being said, we'll see if we get in there in terms of all that kind of stuff there. But if not, we'll just shut it down. I thought we could get them in terms of the matchups going on in terms of those things there. Huh?
I'm trying to get them.
Okay. Charles still working on them. We want to give you a little bit of time there. How about they're having a little bit of interview in terms of what that looks like? Yeah, let's go to a break, and then we'll come back on the side, and we should be able to bring you back with the coach.
And Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft. Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna law, and who the ball, So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Sports Lab, we're back here with Coach Bubba McDowell, head coach of the Prairie View AD Panthers. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, man.
You look like you fired up ready.
I'm fired, so fired up, as well as my players.
Yeah, you have a play left?
One. 5 yards, I'm good.
That's pretty good. We asked Goff, he said he had 6 yards. So y'all right there. I say, hey, it might be a game winner.
Yeah, it might be.
So, man, I'm sure this part of the season is excited for you.
It is. And again, it's always exciting because, we're getting ready for a good football team. And again, as I said earlier in the press conference, guys been hitting on each other all summer. Now they're ready to go this week, and hit someone else. And that's always good. As long as we're consistent hitting the other people, that's always good.
What's the challenge of not having your team get up too high too early?
Well, I want them high. I want them this year. I mean,
okay.
I want them high, man, because again, that's the way we play.
Okay.
And I had to learn that as a first-year head coach last year. Learning how to keep them up, when to bring them back down, and with our guys, I've learned throughout last year, spring, and this summer camp. They're the type of group that wants to be on the high at all time, and it really showed this year.
Understanding that and growth as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, it's always to me. I'm curious. A challenge. Most teams get a primer or a game out of conference of some sort, but you jump right into the thick of things.
Why they do that to you?
That's the question I'm asking.
I've been trying to negotiate it well. And they think I'm supposed to know something. They still won't listen to me.
Why they do that to you?
But how does that affect preparation? I mean, in terms of you're going right into it. I mean, against a rival.
And that's why, alluding back to, that's why they have to be on that high, man, because they have to know what's important. This is a huge game, man. And as Coach McKinney said earlier in the press conference, that, this game, you lose this game and it can put you back by 2. easily. So going into this game, you know that, hey, you know what, we got to win this game, man. Again, even though we won it the last several years, I mean, this game is not guaranteed. Again, we always play each other really tough.
Right.
And now it's about who's going to come out and play 4 quarters of football. The best team that does that consistently for 4 quarters is going to win this game.
When you know each other's personnel so very well, where's the challenge? I mean, what is the challenge in terms of you know everything about this here? I mean, and you know their personnel. How does that affect the preparation going into the game?
Well, again, all it is, you know, am I going to be better than that guy across from me 90% of the time? I tell my guys all the time, you know, X and O's are been here and it's going to be here for a long time. Now it's about you going out, executing, beating that guy across from you, you know, 90% of the time in order for you to be success. To have success.
Last question I got for you, Coach. I know you don't give game plans. You can tell us if you want to. Nice try.
We're going to run, but we're going to hit.
Run. We're going to run again and hit again.
Run again and again.
With that being said, though, but on a serious note, is there any new wrinkles that you have put in place in this game that you think is going to take the team to the next step?
Well, I mean, I guess if you would call it a wrinkle, we put different personnel in place to be able to run the football more, you know, and again, I'm saying a wrinkle, and again, everybody's going back to, you know, 2 backs, 2 tight ends, you know, concept. So, you know, we put that more in this year, and because of the backs that we have in the front line that we have, we feel that we can move the ball. So, you know, putting 2 tight ends in there that can help, you know, establish that run game, you know, it's going to be huge.
Yeah,
I look forward to it because it could be exciting about what y'all can get when y'all get rolling. And you got a veteran line that has ability to knock some people off the ball.
In the day and age,
good backs back there.
In the day and age of wide open offenses, is that a trend where you're starting to see?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
2 backs.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Everybody's going back to the 2 tight end, you know, 22 personnel.
Yeah.
You know, with the backs that they have running the ball this year.
Saw it a lot this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Pounding now. Yeah, everybody's gonna pound that thing, especially if you got that group that can do it.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Coach. You know, you're very busy. Appreciate you. Give us a little bit of it. Good luck this weekend. All right. Take care.
Remember, 5 yards is all I got.
Let me get the headphones.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Come on, Coach McKinney. As we get to close up, we're gonna say the best for last. Come on in here a little bit. Make sure you get your camera time. We don't want Texas Southern alumni fans out there saying, "Look how they did our coach." We don't want that problem.
You don't want them problems.
Coach, with that being said, what has you excited about this season?
Just the start of the season. You know, this is a great time of the year. My favorite time of the year. We get a chance to kick it off with the Labor Day Classic. Great teams battling for the lead in the SWAC West.
Yeah, I know everybody else may not have the luxury, and people say you don't have a lot of expressions, but I've seen you when it gets fun, you get to have a little fun. But lately, I've seen a little bounce, a little smile, so things must be going in the right direction.
I feel good about our team.
That's what I thought.
Feel good about our team, but you know, I'm not one who likes to show my emotions. So.
Right, that's fair. But I see him a little more than that, so it's something good. Something good in the mix. Go ahead, Charles.
Hey, Coach, and I wanted to ask the week leading up to that first game, is there a point where you know, sort of level out and know that everything has been put in place in terms of getting ready for the week?
Well, we have a weekly checklist that we go by.
Mm-hmm.
And once we check off all of those boxes, the hay's in the barn.
There it is.
And it's time for the players to go out and execute.
Sure.
I asked this question, so I asked the same to you. Any new wrinkles? I know you don't give out game plans. You're welcome to give us 1 or 2, you know. But any wrinkles, and when I say wrinkles, it doesn't necessarily have to be a play, but just maybe some way that you're doing it slightly different or adding more to it.
I just feel like our plan is a winning plan.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of us going out and executing the plan. I've been successful with the plan wherever I've been. I've seen it be successful. And so I just think it's just a matter of the players going out and executing the plan.
Sure. I agree with that. Well, last thing, anything that you want to announce to the fans, alumni that you want to say?
I want the stadium full. Yeah. You know, we need to sell out. Bring 3-4 friends with you and let's make it a party.
There it is.
It's good. Let's party because it's gonna be big time fun. A lot of good action out here. Coach, want to say thank you for your time. I know you got a busy schedule. That's okay. We get it up there.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, Coach.
With that, we'll get our final thoughts and then we'll bring it to a close. Great luncheon. You got the one coming up with Touchdown Club again on Wednesday. Then Thursday, as we said that evening, you have the football forum, alumni mixer. Any final thoughts, Charles?
I think Coach McKinney just said it best. The hay's in the barn. It's time to play some football.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Forward to it.
Yeah, good thing. So let's close it out. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab, College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Hope you enjoyed this special episode as we brought you the Labor Day Classic luncheon here between Prairie View A&M and Texas Southern University. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Twitter. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube and Facebook. Dream big. Continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles?
Of course.
Roy?
Lecture.
Dismiss.
Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won. Yeah. I hope my team they won. Yeah. Man. I hope my team they won. I hope my team they won. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with this hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention.